wonderful Rashmi and Bedi. They are here finally. Good to meet them. They are single-handedly responsible for making this evening happen. I want to thank
Welcome to Glam and Shayan with RASHMIBEDI. My guest today is an Indian-born international multi-award winning entrepreneur and musician. He was named Global Indian of the Year for his outstanding contribution to India, immortalizing the Indian national anthem, making it the most viewed national anthem in history of any country. Here I present one and only super talented Shayan Italia. Welcome to the show, Shine. How are you?
Hi, Rashmi. Thank you. Good evening. I'm fine. Good.
Yeah, I was
It's been a
really
long day.
happy. So much to know about you, and of course, you have made every Indian proud. Of course, our
Oh,
national
thank you.
anthem is so close to everybody's heart.
Yeah, it was quite unexpected. That happened, I think, in 2018, July,
Wow.
just before the Independence Day, like during the Independence, 71st Independence Day of India.
Wow, awesome. So, Shan, I really want to know, like, how did you started your journey in the field of music?
Um, I was never musical.
Uh-uh.
Actually, I take that back. I'm a, I'm a born Zoroastrian Parsi, and in Parsi families, we are very musical. We're musically inclined,
Okay.
to say the least. Like music is always played in the background. Music is always part of every Parsi family's life.
Yeah.
And for me, the um, the real change in musicality came when I lost my mother when I was very young.
Oh.
And my mother told my father to buy me a piano before she died. And when I received the piano, my journey of songwriting started.
Oh.
So I haven't been musical since birth or whatever someone called it. It just happened to me, and it's something I hold very dear. Um, I'm very, very passionate about music to the point that I have tried my best, willingly and forcefully, to not make it a profession and make money off it.
Okay.
It
That's
kind of
really
keeps it
very
real
nice.
for me.
But music has always attracted you since the time you were young, right? You always had a little bit of attraction towards that. So that's the reason maybe you have started, you're inclining more towards that now.
Yes, I always told myself that if I was going to start music, it would be on my own turf with my own terms, kind of doing it. And it could fail and it could succeed. It depends on what people define their success and failure with it. I'm someone who's not bound by social metrics. I'm not bound by what people say, likes, comments. The whole social media kind of bubble is not something I'm part of.
Okay.
Um, for me, it's more of actually creating something which I probably connect with on a very deep level. So, and that's not just for music; it's for any project I take on. I have to have a personal vested interest into me. So it's more of I would I would it would be safe to say that I am driven by purpose, if that makes sense. So I have to have a purpose. Why? It's more important for the why than the what.
Yes.
It's like, why are we doing this? What is the reason I'm doing this? And with the national anthem video, it actually, that's just an example. It's an example because I happen to be in India. We all stand for the national anthem before the movie starts. And I've never felt it did justice. Um, and I personally would say I wouldn't stand for this. I mean, okay, I'm Indian, and you have to stand, otherwise your hands and legs are going to get broken. But if I was American, I definitely wouldn't stand for this. Or if I was British, I wouldn't stand for this because, I mean, the piece is fantastic. What Rabindranath Tagore's composition is fantastic. Let's just say it's one of the best pieces perhaps ever written for the modern age. Um, but the way it's been depicted perhaps is not the same. Also, it's very controlled. So, for example, there is no such rule that it has to be 52 seconds long. The original is over 12 minutes long.
Okay.
It was written for All India Radio and broadcasted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was made down into 52 seconds by the Indian Army Command. And then it was made even simpler because people couldn't remember all the words.
Yes.
So eventually it has become, in its own cliched way, a commercial product. But I guess every national anthem is that way, that it's written as a big piece and then it's made into a nice tight 1 minute piece which everyone can sing along, everyone can feel, and everyone can have a patriotic side towards.
Yes.
The approach I took was slightly different because I felt it had a deeper story. And so I wanted to tie my heritage, the fact that my mother lost her life to cancer, and then she bought me a piano, and I became whatever you want to call it, musical, etc. And that led to a story. And it was funny when I presented it to the record companies, executives, TV executives. Everyone typically said, this is not going to work. It's never going to work. It's out of the box. You are a white boy and you are sitting on a grand piano, not even an Indian musical instrument. You don't show the national flag. It's a formula for suicide. But that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And it also shows you that no one knows anything,
Oh,
simply put,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it juggernauted, it did what it needed to do, it caught on. And I think people, in fact, my data, it's really funny. My data actually tells me there are more foreign people who've seen it than Indians.
Wow.
Yes. So actually, out of the 103 million views, almost a lot of the comments, almost a lot of the interactivity, a lot of the shares have come outside India. And that's great because if I could represent or make someone hear the Indian national anthem who wouldn't have heard it before and said, that's a great piece of music, then I've done two things. Number one is I've honored the composer, which is the most important thing, because I come from a musical background. And the second one is I've honored the message of the music, which is to communicate it outside. I've always looked at it that way. For some reason, I've never looked at life as being geographically bound. Pick a side, pick a sport, pick a religion. This is a very small-minded way of living. And I think people who actually travel, who actually visit other cultures, you realize that that we are the same. I mean, typically we are the same.
Of course.
Whether it's Zarathustra, Jesus, Muhammad, it's kind of one figurative, right? You are praying to in a certain way.
See, it's a superpower. That's what it is. End of the day, it's a superpower.
Yes.
That's what we are praying. Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Yes. I'm a bit different. I pray to something completely different. I don't pray, even though I am a Parsi, I don't actually pray to a monolith God.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the monolith gods only came 4,500 years ago, and they take the shape of man conveniently.
Mm-hmm.
I pray to the earth.
Yes.
So she's 4.5 billion years old, and she's seen 6,000 species come and go, and man is an irrelevant point in time. Let's just say that simply, right? We are an irrelevant point in time, and in a certain way, you could actually even possibly, there's a theory that goes around that I could support by saying that just like human beings, we get a virus in our body, and what do our antibodies do? They isolate the virus so that they can heal the body. So we can even go and work with a cold, with a cough, with some fever, but our body is active. The more we push it, obviously, the sicker we're going to get until we heal. And if you look at it that way, isn't it ironic that the biggest virus, that the earth caught a virus and its antibodies isolated it for her to heal? Guess who the virus is? It's us.
Absolutely.
So we've all been put into our house, And guess what's happened? The environment is cleaned up, the animals have come out, right? And so, in a certain way, there's a theory that COVID-19 is a course corrector.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've done her enough damage because last year or the year before last, you had the Australian fires, the glaciers melting, and catastrophic things, which may not matter to most human beings, but to people who value climate change, who value kind of how life is kind of tipping off the edge, it kind of makes sense.
Absolutely. And that's the reason you have your smart wellness app also.
Yeah, so there are two things which are very, very important to me, or which have grown to become very important to me, which I value a lot. One is obviously music, and the other one is my health, purely because I had two parents who died when I was very young from health diseases. One, my
Yes.
mom from cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and two, my dad from multiple sclerosis.
Oh.
So I took a stand when I was very young that I would not drink, smoke. Um, it's good to say do drugs because today that's the main thing and
Mm-hmm.
in the news. And and typically I don't even have tea or coffee. I mean, I have black coffee for health reasons, but otherwise not just general coffee. How people consume it at Starbucks or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Health is
For
wealth, you know. You are absolutely right that the fitness is a very important thing in our life, of course, you know.
Yes, and I always told myself when I was very young that every 5 years I would try and upgrade my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that does not have to be materialistically. It could be that I need to travel more, I need to learn more skills, I need to develop something more. So every 5 years I needed to jump, like see a vast jump in lifestyle as a whole. Again, not materialistic, but could be materialistic, but things that make me grow as an individual. So, START is the kind of final extension of that because it is a tried and tested um, methodology of living
Mm-hmm.
through cellular science. I practice intermittent fasting and other things which I've been doing for a long
A lot
time.
of people are doing
And
that. That's good.
yes, it's catching on,
Yes.
but many people are also doing it wrongly. So I tend to research a lot into
Oh.
something
Mm-hmm.
and try it out and see what's good. And I've tried every diet from the keto diet, I've tried every workout program, to whatever it is. And I found that simple things, you don't need to spend, if you are really health freak, you don't need to spend more than 20 minutes a day exercising.
Okay.
You can eat whatever you want. It's just when you eat and how you eat which makes a difference. I mean, I consume a bucket load of chocolate a day. I'm a chocoholic, so a
Wow.
bucket load of chocolate.
Doesn't
In
look
fact, my
like.
greatest fear is the doctor's gonna come to me and say, "Sorry, Shayan, you're diabetic." And I think that's the time you
Oh
just
God.
like cut your own throat and say, "There's no point living anymore."
But
So
you do have your smart wellness app, so that can
yes,
maintain
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's really good about Start is Start's the first wellness app which we are creating, and it's going to be ready in 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows a person hour for hour to plan their entire day. So it actually looks at your habit and it tells you what you're doing right or wrong or could be better.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't change any diet or exercise. It just tells you how to eat and when to eat
Oh,
and
that's
puts
great.
all the myths. um, yeah, like for example, if I mean, just to say it, and I could be hated for this publicly,
Mm-hmm.
but it is scientific fact that breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. In fact, it's the worst thing to do is get up and eat breakfast. You
Okay.
know, it's
God.
literally the worst thing you
This
can
is
ever do.
contradicting so
Uh,
many statement of so many people. You
yes,
know,
yes,
they've been
yes.
always
No,
emphasizing on the breakfast. Yeah.
yes. Well, it's a very food industry Kellogg's thing that they
Yeah.
started. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. There is no such thing. You know, it's kind of like the Indian national anthem must be in 52 seconds, otherwise it's blasphemy. And you're like,
Yeah.
that's not what Tagore said. No, but that's what I'm saying. So I think you can do that. So that's one really important thing. And then the second part of Start is along with that, you get to log in things like your heart rate, your weight, and not only through smart devices, but also manually. So many people may not have a smart device and you can just put your, kind of your hand on your point and check your heart rate and log it in. and especially people who have blood pressure, blood sugar, blood oxygen problems. So the first iteration of the app is anyway so comprehensive that we know exactly where we're going to go from there. So it's a very exciting time. I think it can also help a lot of people, especially in COVID times, who may not have access to a gym, who don't want to exercise, but they just want good health. I'll give you a simple example. We have so many beta testers, over like 200 beta testers, but one case study in point was uh, an individual in his 50s who is about 195 kilos. And he was having massive health problems from heart to weight to energy, etc. And then obviously COVID happened and he couldn't do anything. He used to rely on going out for his walks and everything. And what happened is that he got to know about the START program, beta test program, and he said, he got in touch with me and he said, can I try it? And I really want to do it. It's affecting my life. And I said, sure, why don't you do this? And anyway, long story short, he's been on it for about 4 months now and he's down like 20 kilos.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Fantastic.
Doing nothing. Yeah, and he feels better and he's enjoying it. And he's like, I'm going to do this for the rest of the year and I'm going to go down at least 50, 60 kilos. And I said, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really good, especially because he's middle-aged, right? He's in his 50s. Like a 30-year-old would react much faster, but his metabolism has slowed down and it's a bit difficult. So we're all really excited about START. It's a slow burn process.
Of
And
course,
actually
obesity is a major cause for a lot of problems or health issues, I'll say. Yeah.
especially in the US, yes,
Yes.
especially in the US, it's a massive point. Obesity and diabetes are the
Yes.
two fundamental causes.
Absolutely.
In fact, START is launching globally, soft launch, but globally, so that we initially wanted to be for India, but then I made a decision saying no, it's a universal point, and everyone is in the same space right now. Everyone is confined to their homes, and it's going to be a long time before we're all back,
Yeah.
to normality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so nice to know, you are doing wonderful thing in your life, bringing up all those app and your music video is hitting so nicely. Everybody is loving it. I really want you to share about, let's switch to music again because of course wellness is there, music and wellness is going together. And I would like to know about Shalala. Like it's a really lovely number, and we love that video. And please do share, like, how did you come up with that idea and about the message you want to spread across the globe. Please share that with our viewers.
So we just launched this video called Shalala, and we just did it in a very different way. I come from a team of people. These team of people are basically, it's been a journey with hundreds of people, including musicians, legendary musicians, cinematographers, directors, producers, casting directors. As you know, in the video, there's an entire cast of 21 people,
Yep.
which are featured, including myself,
Yes.
in small bits. And each one shares a small part of the video where they keep repeating. So they start with the video, then they come in, and the video is broken up into 3 distinct kind of parts. And firstly, I wrote the song a long time ago, so eons ago, and my catalog is now over 100 songs. But this has been one song where a lot of people have just said, "Ooh, I really like it. It's very catchy." And from its demo stage to its recording stage, I recorded the music about a decade ago, which was great because I had access. I was in London before I came to India to live, and I had access to some of the best musicians out there in the best studios, and I was working on a bigger project and whatnot. And I recorded a body of work for philanthropic purposes, which was really good. And this was one of the songs on it. And when I came over to India, I was pondering on doing something. And obviously, after the national anthem, I didn't know what to do. But I've always wanted the idea of different people singing this song, this particular song. I was very clear on that. And I think that was the base concept. And then I got introduced to, I call him my partner in crime, Muni Agarwal, who helped me direct it, etc.
Okay.
And obviously, I don't know anything about direction, etc. I'm pretty okay at editing. I mean, I edited the promo and I shot the end of the video, whatever you want to call it, the making of. But that's my little amateur kind of debut, as we call it. But but I could never match the years of experience of an actual director and a cinematographer. So I worked with Muni a lot, and both of us kind of built on that and really fine-tuned the storyboard and came up with the concept of what this actually should be from a commercial standpoint.
Yeah.
And from there, it built. So actually, the timeline goes in 2018, I converted it to a Hindi song and I recorded it. But then I was not sure. I wanted to live with the song for a bit before I decided I was going to make the video.
Yeah.
And I shared it with a lot of people, especially friends of mine who love Bollywood music or love something else, and they really liked the song. And then we were developing this storyboard and this concept and making it clear. And I think both of us, when we finished it, we were so happy with the storyboard that actually, if you look at the original storyboard, there's not even one frame that we have changed in the master video. We've actually kept it absolutely to the storyboard because it took us 9 months from finishing the story.
Oh, there's some problem with your voice. We're not able to hear you. It just got disconnected. There's some technical glitch, I think. So, no. So, I still, can you say something? No, I don't know. Suddenly your voice is on mute or what happened. The time you said 9 months and your voice is not coming. I don't know what happened. Uh, so till the time Shine is back with us and uh, he can just connect back with us. So till the time we can talk about him and of course viewers.
Couple, the wonderful Rashmi.
Yes, Shine.
Oh, brilliant. Can you
Yes,
hear me
so
now?
you were talking
Okay.
like it took 9 months and then we just
Yes.
were not able to hear
Sorry.
you. Yeah.
It took 9 months from actually living with the concept to getting on the floor of production. And I went through various production houses, productions, etc., because we really wanted to do it in India, and we wanted to kind of work and keep it as native as possible. But due to the provocative nature of the content, and also the actors in India not being comfortable performing these purely from a societal point of view or how perception point of view, we found it very, very difficult to achieve exactly what we had storyboarded.
Okay.
So we then decided, we got in touch with one of the biggest production houses in Asia called Benetton Films, and they do a lot of Hollywood stuff and everything.
Okay.
And they loved the concept and they really wanted to get behind it. So, we also told them that, oh my God, shooting abroad is, very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And then they really helped out in that point of view. They had a few studios free and then they, gave it to us. And, these are studios used by Hollywood, massive things like James Bond and whatnot. And we kind of got on board a flagship Italian cinematographer called Gianelli,
Okay.
who's very, very good. He does a lot of top brands, and his concept of shooting it was very, very alluring and engaging. I remember being the first day on set, and what I was seeing in the camera was just stunning. I just said, "Oh my God, this is so good!" And it was the first shot, and we had like 50 shots to do, and I think every shot was so well planned in the storyboard and so well prepared that it was quite hard for people to say, so that's exactly what you want. And we're like, that's exactly what we want. So for example, Shayan's on the piano. This is how we want the girl on the piano.
Okay.
And, but then we also left the shot to be open. So what I would do on the piano is my magical moment. Or for example, the bathtub scene, what she would do in the bathtub is her magical moment. And there were a lot of hiccups and a lot of great things that we never thought would come out that well, and they did, like the shattered glass in the eye and the portrait shot or the hands shot were much more elegant than we anticipated.
Yeah.
And I think that also comes from actual teamwork and running and understanding. And these guys are so good, Rashmi, that if you're a minute late on day one,
Mm-hmm.
you're screwed because you're like 10% of your budget or 20% of your budget goes in overtime straight away.
Wow.
So it's literally on the Hollywood way of
Perfection.
thinking.
Perfection,
Whereas,
of course.
yeah, whereas as you know how things work natively in India, where I am in Mumbai, it's like I'm calling people up and I'm like, okay, I'm awake. And they're like, it's 11 o'clock. And I was like, I get up at 6:30. What are you doing till 11? They're like, I've just started, I'll call you back. And that's the other thing. They say, I've started, I'll call you back. It's like they're not even ready at 11:30. Or like, what does that even mean? Why wouldn't you call me now?
Yeah, they starts at 10 or 11 in Mumbai. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's all
So
late
so
night
I think
schedule. Yeah.
so we finished the video October last year, as in finished shooting the video.
Yeah.
And then it took 3 months of post-production to put it together. And again, on the edit, we had a brilliant editor who Muni, the director, knew really well. And we wanted someone very small. We didn't want a big studio. So actually, a lot of the stuff of the video, even though it looks very grand, has been created by very, very few people who actually know what they're doing,
Awesome.
right? And I think my minor contribution towards it has always just been to look at it with a fresh eye and say, I don't know, that's how someone else has always done it. And I have this attitude that we must do something always different than what someone else has never done.
Of
And that's probably going to be either my destruction or standout
No,
point.
you want to be
But
unique, of course.
yeah, it's probably because yeah. Like a lot of people ask me and say, why do you have a house like this? I said, if you're just one person, I was like, because I can. That's what I always tell some, it's like not because of, yes, space is there, but it helps me think. It's quiet, it's
Yes.
nice. So
Environment matters a
coming back to,
lot. Yes.
yes, absolutely. So the editor, when we were editing it, it was very different. We had different parts. Muni did his first cut, the editor did the second cut, I came in, and then we really all three worked together. And we would also take things over, live with it, come back, take things over, live with it, come back. So we finished the video in March. And then we wanted to drop it in March 21st, which was Equinox Day, equality, for again, this ideology of equality, equal rights for all minor communities, especially the Parsi community and all that stuff. And then COVID happened, and obviously the world changed. And then I've been toying when to kind of release it back. When is the right time? What is the right time to do it? And then I realized that if you chart COVID, at least in India,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find that in March, it was 145 people had COVID.
Yeah.
And then by May, I think 300,000. And now it's like hit some 8 million or something like that, some ridiculous amount, right?
Yeah.
And I think the key thing is you have to look at something creative like a virus in a certain way, that it takes a really long time for people to catch on, especially if it's out of the box.
Yes.
So what we wanted to do was we wanted to create a home for the website, for the video, where people would come in without any social influenza, as we call it.
Yes.
So you would watch the video for the video. You wouldn't see likes, comments, views, and all that. You would actually like it for what you like it for. And if you liked it, you would share it with your friends and family if you connected it.
Absolutely.
So actually, we're looking at a very, very, very slow growth rate over a lot of time. In fact, I would actually turn around and say it's probably going too fast already, because we've just been covered in various publications. Few celebrities have tweeted about it, and it's a good start.
Of
But
course.
I want to say we are, as a team, we are definitely looking at this as a long-term point, which is like when people ask me, why haven't you put it on YouTube? I was like, we can always put it up on YouTube. But what we want to do is we want to first get the kind of the early adopters, as we call it, the people who love new things, who look at it, to kind of jump in and try something. It's kind of with technology, the same thing, right? Something cutting edge comes out, and you have only the first 1 or 2% who buy it, and then everyone sees it on the 1 or 2%'s hands or their phones or whatever it is, and they go, oh, great. I remember coming to India in 2010. And at that point of time, August 24th was the first day I came here 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I was holding an iPhone from London. And I went to this party, this Bollywood party.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone had a BlackBerry. And they looked at me and they said, bro, no one here uses that. Everyone's on BBM. And I was like, okay, I don't know
Okay.
what that means. But okay, because I'd never even known what a BlackBerry
Yeah.
was. So I'm like, okay, you're telling me everyone's there, maybe I've lost it, etc.
Yeah.
2 years later, no one had a BlackBerry.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
And they were like, yeah, just iPhone, just WhatsApp me. I was like, you have an iPhone now, but I thought you had a BlackBerry. They're like, oh, that's gone. And the things you can't even say anything
Yeah.
because now they have a whole clan that's
Yes.
moved in, so you can't even say I told you so. It's like a lose-lose situation.
Absolutely.
So I realized that in India, especially, there are very few people that adopt things early. And then they are the ones that spread it like wildfire. And you have to be patient. You
Yeah.
have to build it. It takes time. And you have to keep doing stuff over and over.
And you should experiment new things. You should not be scared of anything. That is so true.
Oh, yeah. So a really interesting thing happened on the first day. So we put out this promo, which is really great. And the promo is so engaging. Like my director and I sat and we just said, "Oh my God, I have a beautiful kind of theater set up in my house." And he said, "Bro, the promo is mad. It's like it's insane." I sent it to a friend at Sony Music who came back and said, "It can't get better than this."
Yeah.
Right? So I was like so excited, and we launched the promo everywhere, and everyone was sharing the promo. I can tell you, there were a lot of people on day one who were sharing the promo. Here was the problem. Everyone thought the promo was the music video.
Oh, okay.
So everyone in India looked at the promo and said, "Oh my God, I saw it 20 times." And I said, "Wow, did you like the bathtub scene or the cat scene?" And they're like, "What bathtub scene? What cat scene? What are you talking about?" I saw that video and I was like, "That's a promo.
Yeah.
The song's not even there." They're like, "I thought it had a great message and it was a good music video." And I was like, "Oh my Lord." So today we scrapped the promo, as in we've not pushed the promo, and we made a clip of the song.
Yes.
And now people go, "Oh, okay, right.
This
Okay."
is
So
the
that's,
one.
it starts in the
Yeah.
middle and
Okay.
it says continue to see the full song
Yeah.
on the website. So we are learning. But see now, if you weren't adaptable
Yeah.
to do that, especially in today's age, then chances are we would have set ourselves up for failure. So we're also learning every day, and we have a very I have a WhatsApp group with kind of the entire crew and team and whatnot, and everyone's just like, yeah, so change it. So do something. You want to change something, we'll change it overnight. And that's a really good attitude. It shows that we've taken our egos out of the equation and we're just doing it for the song and the video and not for any glory or status or whatever you want to call that.
Absolutely. So you have been raised in London, right? Your schooling and your college, and then you
No,
moved to
in
India.
India.
Oh, you did
No,
in India.
I'm born and brought up in Hyderabad, in Secunderabad, India.
Oh, yeah.
And I did my schooling here, and then after my parents passed away, I went abroad just as to
So
study.
how many years you had been
So
there?
I've been in London for a little over a decade, and then I came back here in 2010.
So
I was actually shuttling for the first 4 or 5 years, but then I think the last 6 years I've actually been in India, but I've been living here since 10 years.
so it's like to and fro, right? So you're not just only in India, you just keep on traveling all the time.
My elder brother and his family, who are my absolute immediate blood relatives, as we call it, are in London. And some of my closest childhood friends are in London, and my cousins are in London. But I have family scattered all over, right from Australia to Canada to San Francisco, New
Awesome.
York,
Awesome.
some in Europe, Thailand. Yes. My sister-in-law's family comes from a very big Indian family based in Thailand.
Okay.
So they are a well-established family based in Thailand with loads of children and who have children who have children. So it's like a dynasty entirely, literally. And they are so lovely. They're
So
so much
nice.
fun. So whenever I absolutely enjoy going to Bangkok, and I'm glad that part of the world is really coming. And that's also what made the music video happen. That comfort that if anything went wrong, I have a safety net out there, a protective safety net. But they are so professional in Thailand anyway. It's a very honest and sincere country, at least at the professional level. And they're
Aw-
very soft-spoken people there, very respectable.
Awesome. Good to know about your family. It's really nice. Entertaining family, I should say you have.
Yeah, we have some fun.
Across the globe. So, what are your upcoming projects, Shayan?
Right now, we're just focusing on Shalala
Yeah.
and Start, which is my wellness app
Yeah.
launching in a few months.
Hmm.
But one of the things I do on the side a lot is I kind of try and raise a lot of money for cancer and MS in memory of my parents. I do that kind of through different foundations, have my own little foundation, small, nothing great. Uh, so in COVID, it's been madness because we've been trying to help, and I've been asking kind of relatives, and relatives have been asking
Yeah.
me, and we've been kind of moving things around. But now I've shifted my focus to education. I feel the
Yeah.
fundamental not problem of India, which I believe can actually change. Like everyone says, oh, India's very corrupt, politicians and all that stuff, etc. But I actually believe that it is the education
Yes.
is where the kind of the pinpoint is, and that if we can support education, the country will move forward exponentially.
Yes.
The right of education is very important, and good education.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Um,
that's the right way to help anyone. और जैसे कि कहते हैं कि विद्या का दान या विद्या किसी को आप एजुकेट कर देते हो तो आप उसे लाइफ लॉन्ग अपने पैरों पे स्टैंड दे देते हैं. Money wise, you can
बिल्कुल.
help them
Yeah.
one time, twice, thrice, but if you are educating them, they are self-efficient to help themselves. That is so true.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely right. And your focus is so
Yeah.
nice, and you're a wonderful person, Shine. Lot of things to know
Oh.
about you. I think so. ये show बहुत छोटा है हमारा आपके बारे में जानने के लिए because you're doing so many things. But मैं
Actually,
चाहूंगी.
not so many things.
Yeah, no, you are of course, yeah, and you are very grounded.
Not so
So
many
much to learn
things.
from you, Shine. So Shine, मैं चाहूंगी कि आप हमारे viewers को message हमारी मातृभाषा में दें.
Um, oh, that's a tricky one. So I'll try, but I just want to say that I speak survival Hindi,
Yeah,
right?
that's the
I
reason
mean,
I
I
want you
nailed the
to share with
song.
our
I nailed
viewers.
the
So
song,
उन्हें
but I
अच्छा
speak
लगेगा.
survival Hindi. So I'll try my best to say this. So I know what I want to say in English, but I'm going to think about it and say it in Hindi if I can say it correctly. And if I
Sure.
can't, please excuse my Hindi. जब कोई बोले
Hmm.
वो कुछ कर नहीं सकते हैं, वो खाली वो खाली बोल रहे हैं कि वो नहीं कर सकते हैं.
Okay.
If someone tells you something cannot be done,
Yeah.
it is just their way of saying they cannot do it.
Yes, absolutely.
It is one of the fundamental life lessons
Yes.
I have learned, that actually no one knows anything. No one can know if you are going to be successful if you aren't. And what is success or what is love to someone is completely relative. My mother lived in books. She would not literally care if you were a billionaire or if you're anything. She would care about the last book you read. That was her connect
Okay.
um, for as a human being.
Yeah.
So same way, I have met many, many, many successful people in society's terms, and many people who are nobody. And I have concluded that the happiest person on the planet is the postman. And the reason is because in general, the postman is delivering more good news than bad news. And that
So
is
true.
better than all of us
Yes.
leading
Yes.
our dramatic lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like I've never seen a depressed postman.
Yes.
Just
Actually.
just take an observation. Kaise ho? I'm absolutely fine. Not,
Yeah.
oh, I'm having a bad day. Life is getting down. He has to deliver a letter, right? 20% are bills, the rest is I miss you.
Of course. So true and well said. So nice to talk to you, Farhan, and so many
Thank
good
you.
things you have shared and good wishes for your upcoming, for your video which has been released. We are
Thank you.
very
A
excited
slow
for
start. Just
Shalalala.
started. 2 days.
Of course, and it's exciting and it's going great. And I'd like you to share one more time where they can watch it, the music
You
video.
can go to the site. So you can go to the site shalala.in. That's SHALALA, shalala.in. And we put it out there. It's a safe haven, and you can watch it there. And it's a gorgeous video. It's taken hundreds of people to put together from all walks of life. It's a truly global endeavor, and um, it has a very symbolic and pertinent message that relates to love without boundaries. And I think in today's world where we are all confined, not touching people, etc., it could not have come at a been introduced at a better time to kind of remind us what is actually important in our lives, and that is people and emotions as opposed to things and trivia that we paid too much attention to before.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it
Sure.
was great
Thank
talking to
you.
you, Shan. Thank you and good wishes
Thank
for your
you.
upcoming projects.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
मैं हूँ रश्मि बेदी। हमें उम्मीद है ये शो आपको पसंद आया होगा। लेटेस्ट वीडियो के लिए देखते रहिए माई ड्रीम टीवी यूएसए और पसंद आने पर लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। थैंक्स फॉर